When the Texas House chamber sat empty, the seats meant for the people's representatives became symbols of a strange brand of politics. Instead of staying to debate and vote, more than 50 Democratic lawmakers packed their bags and flew to other states to stop the House from conducting business. Flood relief, property tax reform, school upgrades, all put on hold over a single redistricting map. This isn't just about one piece of legislation. It's about public duty and the fine line between political protest and abandoning constituents. In early August 2025, more than 50 Texas House Democrats left the state, flying to Illinois, New York, and Massachusetts. They claimed to be protecting democracy by breaking quorum, the minimum attendance required for the House to vote, in order to block a Republican-led redistricting plan. Analysts say the map could give the GOP up to 5 additional U.S. House seats ahead of the 2026 midterms. Governor Greg Abbott and House Speaker Dustin Burrows pushed back forcefully. The House passed a resolution authorizing civil enforcement to bring absent members back to the chamber, announced that removal from office could be considered if they refused to return, and signaled readiness to seek extradition from other states. A $500 per day fine was imposed, with state law prohibiting campaign funds from being used to pay it. Violations would be reviewed under campaign finance rules. Texas Democrats have stuck to a consistent set of talking points to justify leaving the state to break quorum. But what is the cost of this leave to block tactic? It's not just the redistricting bill on hold. Flood relief for thousands of families, property tax reform to ease burdens on working Texans, and school improvement projects all sit collecting dust. And this is not the first time the minority party in Texas has used this playbook. To defend their departure, Texas Democrats have leaned on lofty rhetoric, protecting minority voting rights. They argue the GOP's mid-cycle redistricting plan amounts to extreme gerrymandering, diluting the influence of Black, Latino, and other minority voters. They describe it as undermining representation in a diverse democracy, warning that minority ballots could lose impact. Process and timing objections. They say altering district maps mid-decade, outside the standard 10-year census cycle, is a break from precedent. The process, they claim, was rushed, lacked public hearings, and was shaped largely by a small group of Republicans meeting behind closed doors. A legislative protest, Democrats contend that leaving was the only way to slow or stop the bill. They compare it to a form of legislative civil disobedience, similar to historic protest movements, arguing that sometimes walking away from the table is the only way to force the other side to compromise. But what are the consequences of sidestepping public duty to Texas voters? Abandoning constituents in a crisis, breaking quorum delays more than redistricting. It holds up urgent flood aid, tax relief, and education funding that communities need now. Politics driven by narrative over data, some lawmakers have chosen an emotion-first approach, framing map changes as harmful to minority groups, including the LGBTQ community, rather than debating the policy on its merits. This raises the question, are they representing all Texans, or just a narrow base of loyal voters? Setting a dangerous precedent across states, if leaving one's home state to break quorum succeeds in Texas, what stops lawmakers elsewhere from doing the same? Additionally, the decision by the governors of Illinois, New York, and California to host these Texas lawmakers raises questions about a new kind of interstate political intervention. America's federal system is built on each state governing within its own powers, but when states collaborate to disrupt another state's legislative agenda, the line between cooperative federalism and political gamesmanship blurs. Governor Abbott and Texas Republicans took decisive and lawful steps to address the walkout, actions that were both justified and necessary to keep the state's business moving. And while those moves were right, they could be made even stronger with a few key refinements. Texas Republicans were right to move forward with redistricting. The U.S. Constitution and federal law give them full authority to redraw the map after each census, and exercising that power is both lawful and necessary. And the case for these maps would be even stronger if they were backed by clear population data and solid legal standards, setting a precedent that will hold up no matter which party controls the process in the future. Governor Abbott was right to use the enforcement powers available to him. The Texas Constitution allows compelling absent lawmakers to return when their absence blocks the people's business and invoking that authority sends the right message about duty. It would be even more complete if such measures were used as a last resort, with a clear public statement that this is about upholding the law, not scoring political points, making it harder for opponents or the media to twist the narrative. Holding absent lawmakers financially accountable is the right move. Those who continue to collect taxpayer-funded paychecks while refusing to work should face consequences. That accountability would be even stronger if fines were tied directly to the real costs their absence causes, from reconvening sessions to delaying disaster relief, framing the penalty as fiscal responsibility rather than political punishment. The principled conservative view is clear. If you take taxpayer-funded pay and benefits, you show up to work. Leaving the state to break quorum during urgent business is a breach of trust with voters. Work within the rule of law without weaponizing procedure to freeze the system. Texas Republicans are within their legal rights to redraw the map. Don't use emotional narratives to avoid a vote, leaving relief, reforms, and education stuck in limbo. Politics must serve the public, not a party agenda. A republic rots from within if such tactics become normal. The principled conservative standard is that no party should abandon constituents for power plays. From Washington to Austin, a troubling pattern emerges. Lawmakers walk away just when voters need them most. Senate Democrats took recess while over 150 of President Trump's nominees sat idle. Texas House Democrats left, stalling aid, reforms, and education. They still get the pay. They still enjoy the perks. But their duty to voters deferred. Democracy is not just the right to vote, it's the duty to face the result, win or lose. When one side chooses to leave the state rather than debate in the chamber, they also step away from the governing principles of a republic. Is this legitimate protest or a dangerous political game? Share your thoughts below. And if you want more straight-shooting political analysis, don't hesitate to subscribe.